And the next map, I believe, is actually going to be Search and Destroy on Underground. But just quickly, big time is 3-piece. I mean, I know it was too much too late, but that was good. That was nice.
Good, and you know, I'm going to expect to see that in a montage sometime soon.
Yeah, going to a montage near you soon.
Exactly. Search and Destroy is going to be the next map, though. As we've said before, these two teams have met previously. Yep. They won one, TCM won one Search and Destroy, Optic won the other Search and Destroy, so this is going to be really, really interesting as they meet now on Underground.
TCM have only lost one Search and Destroy all LAN, and that was to the team to our right, so, you know, when it comes to Search and Destroy, you've got to favour TCM. I mean, Optic, don't get me wrong, very strong team, of course, you know, very good at S&D, but when you've got a statistic like that at LAN, you have to favour TCM for this map.
Well, let's see if TCM can equalise here and get rid of that handicap that Optic started with completely. We've said that TCM have come off the back of a few games, but maybe Optic have settled into this grand final now. They are still leading 3-2 overall. Yeah, they do still have that map advantage, like you say, but we're going to be on board with Josh straight away. Takes down Scumpy, immediately shut down, though, by Rambo on that right-hand side. As we default now over to Mad Catz, who's going to be using that ACR with that extreme conditioning. Mad Catz just holding his ground. Of course, Search and Destroy play completely differently to capture the flag. A lot more reserved play from both teams, both attacking and defending. They are sticking to a fairly standard approach here, though, in the bomb site that they've chosen to move towards. And we've just got to be careful how much we're saying here on the main stage, because, of course, it is coming out on the loudspeakers, and we don't want to interfere with the game itself.
Yep, absolutely. As we are still on board with Mad Catz, you can just see he's just being very, very cautious indeed. Maybe anticipating an Optic Gaming rush, which is a very common strategy, especially on S&D Underground, as he's just checking as much of the map as he possibly can from his current location. And you know what, should we change play? Let's have a look at what Flux is up to. Flux actually has the bomb.
And he's in a really interesting position. Just look at that angle he's got right there. He might not be able to pick up the kill, but certainly be able to see them before they see him. Unfortunately, none of his bullets do connect, and he's revealed his location, so he's going to have to switch things up a little bit.
Yeah, he's in a very, very dangerous situation right now. He's pre-fired twice, and yet to actually hit someone. He's done it again. So Flux really being very unlucky right now, but the time is of the essence. It's currently at 1 minute. Big Timer takes down Rich, and that is actually going to be a 2 versus 3 scenario in the favor of Optic Gaming in the Search and Destroy. 51 seconds to go. Obviously, TCM are on attack. It's a lot harder to win your attacking rounds than it is those defensive rounds. It
certainly is, and this time is ticking away. It's just getting better and better for Optic now. Rambo picking up the kill against Flux. Mad Catz having to engage against Rambo and does make that important kill.
Yeah, Mad Catz pre-firing that corner. Really intelligent play. He knew Rambo was there because he just got a kill. So he just jumped the corner pre-firing, hoping Rambo was still there. Got a little lucky, but hey, you need a little bit of luck in Call of Duty. But unfortunately, Merc is going to be on those train tracks. And Merc puts a stop to Mad Catz. And that is going to be 1-0 in the Search and Destroy on the round to Optic Gaming.
And I think it's fair to say, with regards to all of the American teams, these top professional American teams that have flown over, that the European teams are getting a lot stronger. They're putting up a lot better of a fight. And Optic are certainly seeing that now after completely sweeping the victories in the previous matches that they played here at EGL. This is proving to be a tough battle for them.
Yep, absolutely. And we're going to change teams, get on board with Optic Gaming and see how they can set up on the attacking side. Currently on board with Rambo. And that's a nice spot.
Yeah, and unfortunately there's something right in his way there. That's got to be frustrating for him. He must be so tempted to just knife out of the way or something.
Quick look as, actually Merc takes down Josh. I was going to have a quick look to see where everyone is. Rambo does see someone run straight in front of him, and he's going to get nice shots there on Flux, just showing that was a very dirty spot. I did not know about that. I'm definitely going to be using that when I play.
Absolutely. I mean, Rambo, he had to challenge Flux there. He'd put some bullets into him, and Flux was very close to getting a turn on, but it did pay off. The decision-making from Rambo, absolutely perfect in that situation. If we bring up the scoreboard, we can see it is 4 versus 2. Optic looking really strong here on Search and Destroy.
Yeah, Rambo just did see someone in that mid-map area, got very, very weak and decided to back off, doing the smart thing. Really intelligent play coming from Rambo. He didn't need to challenge that. He can afford to stay alive. Obviously, they have that 2-man advantage. They don't want to be just needlessly giving away kills as Rich takes down Big Timer, but immediately Merc shuts down Rich, and that is going to be a 1 versus 3 scenario to Mad Catz. I was going to change team and get on board with him, but Rambo flanked straight behind him and took down Mad Catz, making it 2-0 to Optic Gaming.
Yeah, absolutely brilliant play. And you can just see the teamwork and chemistry is there with Optic. They've been teaming together for so long. I mean, actually, we can actually see they've been teaming together since November 2011, and such dedication to stick together really is paying off for them in these big tournaments.
Yep, absolutely. We'll go ahead and change team once again, get on board with TCM and see how they can do on the attacking side. Once again on board with Josh, who's opted to change his class up a little bit, and big fan of that. Big fan of smoke grenades and search and destroy myself, and he goes for the pre-fire. Unfortunately, doesn't get it yet, but just have a quick look at the scoreboard, see who's playing quite well. Josh currently 1 and 2, but Rambo once again in search and destroy going massive. 4 and 1 with just 2 rounds played. He has been playing so well at search and destroy all of EGL8.
Yeah, he's absolutely storming this at the moment. As you say, picking up an average of 2 kills per round so far. If he can continue this form, then he's certainly going to lead Optic to victory in the search and destroy and extend the lead to 4-2. Josh looking to change that, but no, Rambo sweeping around the back, making it 3 versus 3.
Yeah, I'm quite surprised TCM didn't have someone covering Josh's back there. It's a very common strategy to have, but TCM actually choosing not to play. So we default now over to Mad Catz, with 1 minute 40 still to play. Mad Catz being extremely cautious about what he's doing right now.
Yeah, he's just checking back into. He's expecting someone to come to him. He doesn't want to have to put himself into dangerous areas. But ultimately, as the attacking team, that is what you're going to have to do. Flux does take out Scum, and Mad Catz has spotted someone now.
Can he get this kill? Where has that Optic player gone? Merc with the 2-piece, though, taking down Flux and Rich. As Mad Catz does take down Merc. Nice play. Get turned on Rambo. Mad Catz immediately standing up and letting Optic know what he thought about that. That was a fantastic turn on. We're going to get to see that one more time. Sees Merc on top of the train, immediately sees Rambo, turns. Rambo just didn't have the gun skill there to outgun Mad Catz in that certain situation. And Mad Catz, look at him, he's happy with that.
I bet he is. That was absolutely massive play, and it's allowed them to take their first round here on Search and Destroy. Well, it's been a big, big play in Mad Catz so far. I mean, we've said it once, we'll say it again. He's come second in the 2 previous EGLs, and to be this consistent, it's got to tell you something.
Yep. Some would say best AR in Europe right now. I mean, statistically, when you look at it, 3 grand finals at EGL8, you can't really knock it, to be honest.
Absolutely. Well, Merc is going to be the bomb carrier here, slowly migrating towards the bomb site and being extremely careful, knowing that as he crosses this path, he's putting himself at risk.
Yeah, what's important to remember as well, if TCM do take this map, that is actually going to level things up at 3-3, so it will be essentially a brand new sort of start. So TCM, obviously with that deficit of 2 maps, they really need to try and level things up as quickly as possible. They had that fantastic CTF game before, so the question is, can they go ahead and turn things around in this S&D on Underground?
Well, Merc really, really weak there. A stun grenade might have actually finished him off initially, but his health has regenerated and he has spotted a TCM player unable to make the kill.
Very unfortunate. Quick bring up the scoreboard and see that it is actually a 3 versus 4 scenario. Rambo has died, but Merc and Rambo both on 5 kills apiece. So let's see if Merc can try and extend that. As he saw someone before on that top balcony. He's not sure exactly where they've gone now. He's going to get heavily stunned though. Maybe a nade incoming.
Well, he does have his gun poised on that doorway. Quickly switching back into, knowing that there was someone originally over on the balcony, and he has spotted them again, but he doesn't want to take the shot until he knows he can make the kill. Yeah, you don't want to be giving away your position in search and destroy.
There's no point taking a shot unless you're sure you can take it, and oh my god, that was a fantastic shot. Taking down Mad Catz, who was on the top balcony. Scumpy takes down Josh, and that is going to be a 2 versus 3 scenario, so it's amazing. That's just Call of Duty for you. Turned around so quickly, TCM with that advantage, and now all of a sudden Optic Gaming with the 1-man advantage in just a matter of seconds.
Well, you've been talking about Merc's play throughout this tournament, Benson, and look at that 6-1 on Search and Destroy. Massive for his team, but he is going to go to the floor, dropped down by Rich. Big timer gets taken out by Flux, and Flux follows that up with a kill against Scumpy. Now 2-2 here on Search and Destroy. TCM are back in this.
TCM have come to play some Call of Duty, put it that way. That is back-to-back 2-piece kill cams we've seen, and I mean, wow, that was just a fantastic play by Flux. He knew that the 2 Optic players were going to be there. As soon as he saw one, he knew that they were going to be traveling in pairs, and just great anticipation of where Scumpy was going to be. So we'll go ahead and change team. They have leveled it up, so that is going to be 2-2 in the Search and Destroy. But let's not forget, in terms of map count so far, it is 3-2 still to Optic Gaming.
Yeah, and I think Flux sometimes gets overlooked within the team, but he's an absolutely fantastic player. He's played so solidly throughout the event. He's teamed with Rich for a long, long time. Not consistently, not every single LAN, but nevertheless, the chemistry is there.
Mad Catz taking down Merc, screaming across the table, "You can't outgun me, I am the best." But you know what? He's certainly playing like it, and statistically, in terms of EGLs, he's been very, very good in terms of European play. But we'll get on board with Flux to play. They did get that 2-piece last round, and we'll see how he's thinking of playing. Just quickly checking his back. Has Mad Catz in support though, so doesn't really need to. Oh,
Well, this is very interesting, trying something different and opting for a different approach to search and destroy on this map, not sticking to the conventional way. And Flux is going to need all of his teammates supporting him as he makes this push towards the bomb site.
Yeah, Flux just going to have to take his time a little bit now, being a little bit more cautious. Has just seen, I thought that was actually one of the enemies, but that is actually one of his teammates. And we will now go ahead and change player. We'll see exactly where Rich is at, and we'll just flick through to see how TCM are setting up. Obviously, they do have 4 up. It's a 4 versus 3 scenario. Merc has been dropped, so it's up to Rambo, Big Timer, and Scumpy to try and get the defuse. Rambo rushes in, takes down Flux. Josh immediately shuts down Rambo, though, so 35 seconds for Optic Gaming to try and get this defuse.
Here we go, Josh rocking the MP7. Silence gets taken out by Scumpy. Big Timer takes out Rich, and it is going to be all up to Mad Cat now. 1 versus 2. Now 1 versus 1 with only 22 seconds left on the clock. This is a crucial moment in the search and destroy. Yeah,
it's going to be Mad Cat up against Scumpy, and this right here is where Mad Cat can prove if he is the best AR in Europe right now. It's kills like this in rounds as important as this, which really do make you one of the greatest players, as he is going to wait till that 7.5. Scumpy's nowhere near the bomb site, and Mad Cat is going to go ahead and make this 3-2 to TCM. And to be honest, it's nice to see, you know, Optic Gaming coming out and really making a difference.
Well, it is now that TCM actually take the lead after being behind on this search and destroy. It's been a big comeback for them. They are on a hype, and they're going to continue this. And I would really, really like to actually see TCM on the defend, because this is going to be it for them. If they win this, that will even things out 3-3, and that will completely null the initial handicap of this best of 11.
The question quite a lot of people are asking right now is it that Optic aren't playing as well as they did in the past, or is it that European teams have caught up? Well, obviously we've had a mass array of fantastic American teams at this event so far, and you know what, I think it just looks like European teams have caught up.
It certainly does, and there's a lot of players that are actually standing out individually as well. I mean, Josh has been playing fantastically here, and the audience actually know it. As we see him here in the mid-map area, just aiming through that alleyway, trying to find somebody, and just making sure he stays alive. It is going to be a sensational victory if TCM manage to pull this off, because not only will they have ended Optic Gaming's 3 EGL land spree of not losing a single game up until this grand final, but of course that will mean they take the victory in the final Modern Warfare 3 Championship at EGL8 Manchester, proudly sponsored by Mad Catz.
Yeah, Josh just launching that stun in at A, did actually connect with a hit marker, 1 minute 30. As it stands, TCM with the 1-man advantage. We are seeing a 4 versus 3 scenario. Josh is going to have to play this a little bit more patient now. He arguably could have been a bit more aggressive a few seconds ago, but as obviously he let that go, he does now have to be a little bit more defensive. Shots fired, does get some shots on Big Timer. Not entirely sure what Big Timer was doing there. He stood perfectly still. Maybe very unfortunate play, but we're still on board with Josh. Bomb has gone down at A. He does see someone in that alleyway, jumps, goes for the pre-fire, but no idea where that Optic player has gone.
Well, Josh knows he needs to challenge this. Unfortunately, it's going to be against him, and it's Rambo that's going to make the kill. And that leaves it all up to Mad Cat and his teammate Flux. Mad Cat goes down. This is great play from Optic, but Flux takes out Rambo. It's 1 versus 1, Flux versus Scump, but there is a bomb to defuse as well for TCM.
Yeah, Flux with it all to do right now. 14 seconds left on that bomb timer. Where is Scumpy going to be? Oh, Flux, oh, bit of a choke, if I'm honest. So Scumpy with the turn on knife to ensure that it still, for now, stays 3-2 in maps to Optic Gaming. Not going to lie, Flux was right behind him, and, well, you've got to, that has to go down as a Flux choke, if I'm honest. Fantastic play by Scump. I mean, you can see there, if you're just looking on the camera, Scumpy composes anything. No reaction from him, just focused on the game at hand, but nasty, nasty turn on.
Well, what a pivotal point in the game. This is his 3-3 search and destroy. It is 3-2 overall in map count in favor of Optic. If TCM win this, it will level it up to 3-3. But if Optic win it, they will be well ahead on 4-2. This is so, so important now.
Yeah, they'll be back to that initial 2-map advantage they had. Mad Cat getting early first blood there on Rambo. Not even 30 seconds played. Scumpy responds though, taking down Mad Cat. 3 versus 3. 2 minutes, 6 seconds still to play. As it stands, we are going to be on board with TCM Josh, currently playing out of his mind so far in this grand final.
Yep, and he's just holding firm here in middle map, trying to provide cover. A little bit of shaky shooting is going to cost him as the enemy gets away.
Yep, not exactly the most accurate accuracy you could really want there in that situation, but
it's a high pressure, very high pressure right now.
Of course, I mean, this is essentially one of the maps that could decide whether they want to win it or lose it. It's that sort of momentum creating map right now that we're seeing. 3-3 search and destroy, 1 minute 30 still to go. 3 versus 3, Flux, Josh and Rich up against Merc, Scump and Big Timer in this EGL8 grand final.
Now it's the European TCM side up against the American and Canadian, let's not forget Rambo on the end there, side of Optic, who have been so successful in all their tournament endeavours, and TCM are looking to change that.
Yeah, Josh really is going to take his time now. But the problem that obviously TCM have got now is they are on attack. As time ticks down, that benefits the Optic gaming side. 58 seconds left. We're still on board with Josh. He does see someone right at the back. He needs to try and make that kill. He's going to get him very, very weak indeed. Arguably could have carried on shooting there.
Yeah, you know what, he might have made the best decision that he's ever made there for Call of Duty by avoiding him. Rich actually does pick up the kill, but Merc shuts out Flux. It's now 2 versus 2. Rich takes out Merc. 2 versus 1 for TCM.
We are going to go ahead and get on board with the Optic gaming player. 1 versus 2 scenario. It is big timer. Currently bottom fragging for his team. 2 and 5. Josh and Rich up against him. Big timer is going to see Rich, and he gets taken down by Josh. A nice play there coming from Josh. That is going to level it up. 3-3. Josh really playing like a potential MVP right now.
That was such a critical kill. It eventually went 1 versus 1, and it was Josh who finished that off for the team. So instead of being 4-2 to Optic, now we are seeing 3-3. The teams are tied here in EGL8 Manchester, the Mad Catz MW3 Championship. We have a game on our hands, ladies and gentlemen.
We certainly do. Could we see the first team in Europe to dethrone Optic Gaming? That is the question.